We're going into this Euro with the aim to win it. We're not talking about semi-final, we're not talking about final, we're talking about winning the tournament. England is one of the favorites as well, just like Germany. The last time we met England, they were better than France, but we won the game. You know why? Because we had the experience of winning big, important games like this. The way I'm dressed, the way I used to be, as a former professional footballer, especially in France, not here in England because they accept me the way I was in terms of personality and character. But in France, they always put me on the side because I was not thinking the same way that most of the people. I don't care, to be honest with you, because I'm not a criminal. But I always thought that football is not only football, it's more than that. But I think in France we're not as passionate as here in England. But it's becoming the same way, it's getting slow, step by step. But I think we understand that football is not just a sport, it's more than that.
Were you surprised then that it was different in England to France? Were you surprised that people perceived you differently in England?
Yes, but just like Cantona, but Cantona is a step forward, But he had to leave France as well to be recognized somewhere, as a person first. And when I was young, I used to read a lot of story about English football. I was dreaming in my bedroom with my brothers. Every single walls were covered about posters, from stars, all over the world, especially in England. And I loved the link between the fans and the players, the passion over there, As I said, it was not only football. We are talking about something like religion, And I had the feeling when I was young, I want to play there because this is where I recognize what I want the most,
Yeah. Now, but winning the World Cup, that must have changed people's attitudes in France towards you, though,
yes,
didn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah.
People's eyes change a lot. Still, every single day, everywhere I go. I think it's the same for my teammates. And but I think you have to be very careful between two things. Playing for clubs is one thing. Playing for your country is completely different. When you play for your club, you speak to your own fans. When you play for your country, you speak to every single citizen of the country. And when we won the World Cup in 1998, there were millions of people on the Champs-Élysées celebrating. From young to old people, different aspirity, It was so many people, but I think they changed their view on me for what we've done during the World Cup, because I used to be outspoken all the time, I used to have a big mouth. I used to speak about things that are not linked with football. So we don't like this in France. Most of people want you to stay where you work, don't speak about other things. So, but again, I don't mind, I was not, upset about that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. It's the same in many respects now. People have said, you stick to football. They said to me, stick to football. You're not allowed to comment on politics, religion, anything. You're not allowed to have any sort of opinion unless it's about football. It's crazy.
Yeah, but I don't know if you think the same than me, but I think football is very important, but it's only football.
Yeah.
I always said to players, even nowadays, or even with my old teammates, try to calm down, keep your feet on this earth, because even if you won big trophy like Champions League or Premier League or World Cup, it's a big achievement. Now, there is no doubt about that, but we don't save people's life. We are not, we're not doctors, we're not scientists. We don't create vaccine, I'm not politics. I'm not going to change people's lives. So at the end, football is important, but until a certain limit.
Yeah, yeah. And it's, to a degree, there's a parallel with TV because, you know, you go and you work in television. It's exactly the same. You know, in the big scheme of things, it's not important, which has helped me over the years because I always think, always, if I make a mistake, so what? Nobody gets hurt by it.
Of course.
You know, you just carry on. Whereas, obviously, if you make a mistake in other walks of life, you know, it can be life or death. So we've both had a good time, really. You know.
Did you ever play football?
Oh, Sunday mornings. That was all. Sunday morning football. I used to play in the northeast in Hartlepool as a fullback, and they called me Chopper Stelling. So it's true because I wasn't very quick. You know, surprise, surprise. So sometimes all you could do to stop people was to, you know.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Yeah.
Would you be able to change your amazing career on television with being a professional footballer?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Which arm would you like to take? You know? Absolutely. Because it's, you know, I mean, it's a cliche, but it's every schoolboy's dream. And it was my dream as well, even though I was short and dumpy and just about good enough for the school team. But, you know, even if somebody offered me, not at your level, if somebody offered me, you know, the chance to play in League Two, yeah, I'd have taken that. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Because you had an amazing career on television.
Yeah, I know, and it's been fun. It's been fantastic. It still is fun. It still is fantastic.
You know that people
but that's
love
the sort
you.
of
You know
ultimate
that.
dream.
You know that now.
Yeah. If you saw some of the texts I get here, honestly, Emmanuel, you wouldn't think that.
Okay, all right.
Especially West Ham fans. They're the most difficult ones.
Yes,
you know.
I understand.
We were meant to be talking about Chelsea.
Okay, all right. Okay.
And I'll ask you, what have you made of how they've been this season?
I'm not surprised about the fact they are struggling because I've got memories and I remember what happened, you know, for the last 2 years in this club, on and off the pitch. You know, they changed the owner. It was a big revolution into the club. So many players left, so many young players came into the club. A new manager. They changed so many managers in space of 3 years now. So you know, in football, it doesn't come like this just because you have money. Money, you know, doesn't bring success. It helps you, you know, to go step by step. So it will take time. So I'm not surprised about the fact they are struggling because they are very young and they had so many big, important players injured for such a long time as well during the season. So give them time. Give to Pochettino and his staff time. Just what the board of Arsenal did with Arteta. I remember the first 2 years for Arteta when he came to Arsenal, he was not that easy, you know, he was under so much criticism, you know, so much pressure, but, you know, step by step with a very good vision, everybody looking the same way, walking in the same way, and we see all the results, and we see how amazing are the Gunners actually, and that's because of Arteta and his staff, and this is why I think I've heard the pressure on Pochettino, and I don't get it, to be honest with you. He's not that bad manager. I think he's a good manager, but he needs time as well. You know, you could have put a Guardiola or even Klopp on the bench. I think it would not been easy as well for them on the bench. So I think Chelsea will be much more stronger next season. But if the board are not going to spend millions again on the transfer market, bring new players, and then all over again, then all over again, then all over again. No, they need to stick with their players. They need to give them confidence. They need to work with them to increase their quality and to be much better next season. So time for me is the most important, but time in modern football, they don't get it.
I mean, I look at the Chelsea squad and everybody says it, and they're right, it is a young squad, and a lot of the players have come from abroad. I'm thinking of, you know, Nicholas Jackson, who's taken a lot of stick recently, Mudryk. How long did it take you when you first came to England to feel comfortable?
Yeah, but that's a good question, because I remember my dream was to play in the Premier League. When I signed for Arsenal, I was very happy, but the first couple of weeks was very difficult for me. And I remember it was a game away from home at Southampton. And I received a big kick in the first half, and I think it was Palmer, the central defender, the tall black guy, you know, it was like a tree on the pitch.
Yeah.
And he gave me a big kick, and he opened my legs like this, and I was bleeding, and I was thinking, some players, they don't play football here. They just want to kick you. So I just want to play the ball on the field, not in the air, because I'm tired, you know. I'm looking at the ball in the air. I just want the ball on the floor. And I remember after that game, I was kind of not happy at all. And I was questioning myself of, did I make the good choice?
Mm-hmm.
And Arsene, he knew me since such a long time. So he knew straight away that he had to talk to me. So he came and he asked me a simple question. Manu, I can see that you're not happy, you're quiet, and I know you very well. So when you're like this, something wrong. So tell me, what is wrong? And I explained to him the situation. And he said to him, listen, Manu, if I decided to sign you for Arsenal, if I wanted you to come and play for this team, it's because you have the quality as a player, but you have the quality as a person to adapt yourself in the Premier League, the demands of the Premier League, but as well into the culture of English people. He said to me, I have confidence in you, so you need to be more confident in yourself, because you can go even more up. You know. So he said, keep on working. Don't say anything. Try to go step by step, and you will see. You will be much better. And he was right. And at the end of the season, I was probably one of the best players in the Premier League. And I was. That's why I love Arsene, because he helped me so much in so different aspects. As a human being first, as a player, of course, but I had so many talks with him. So he represents something very important for me.
And it's really interesting you say that he said he had confidence in you as a player, but confidence in you as a person as well.
Yes.
And when you look, again, you know, to use Chelsea as an example, do you think that maybe too many of the players have been signed without the club looking at what they were like as a person? They can see they're fantastic footballers, but maybe have not delved into things in the same way as Arsenal would have done at Arsenal.
Do you know that some clubs sign players on Football Manager?
No.
Yes, it's happening.
Right. So you can't have any clue whatsoever
Some
as to
some
what sort of
clubs are
person they
working
will
very
be.
well, because before signing the players, they want to be focused on the person. What kind of character, personality? Is he married? Is he single? Does he have kids?
This is massively important,
of
isn't
course,
it?
it's very important. For me, it's more important than signing the player, because before you go and you enter into the pitch, you're a person. So if you have troubles in your private life, you will come with your trouble on the pitch. So I mean, you have to be very careful. How good? It doesn't matter how good you are. I think if there is a problem in your private life, you should be very careful before signing them.
Do you understand, as a player, the frustration of the fans, for instance, at Stamford Bridge, though?
Yes.
Especially bearing in
course.
mind their success that they've had, you know, in the past couple of decades.
Of course, I understand that, but they must understand as well that they are all very young without experience. I think if they want to bring new players, the next transfer market, they should bring experienced players with a great mentality. 2 or 3 experienced players, you know, just to be a father figure to the young players in the dressing room, but on the pitch as well, because sometimes I have the feeling they are all on the same line, and there is no leaders, you know, into this team. So I think more experience would be very helpful for this team.
Yeah. I mean, maybe Thiago Silva, but he's at the end of his career.
Yes, he's 39, something like
39,
that. So,
yeah. Wow, 39, still playing at the top level.
but I understand Chelsea fans,
Yeah.
but they must understand as well that look what happened to Arsenal. in space of a couple of years, everything changed. So you need to give time to people to work,
Yeah.
in serenity.
Can you see a sort of parallel between the two clubs in the fact that obviously Arsenal struggled, they had a really difficult spell, and now they're right back there contending. Obviously you have to have the right man for the job in Mikel Arteta.
Yes.
But equally you've got to be patient and support him through thick and
be
thin.
very careful on the transfer market. Look what the transfer market policy, at Arsenal, for the last 2-3 years. I think they are working very well. They don't splash millions on players and bring 5-6 players every single transfer market. No, they are very aware, just like Klopp did, with Liverpool, or even Guardiola with City when he first came. Pieces after pieces, 1-2 players, that's it. We don't try and change the spine of the team. We just want, to make the team much better. But we've got already the spine. We need to add a couple of players on top of it. If you change so many players, just like what Chelsea did for the last 2-3 years, it takes time, and especially when you get young players like this.
You can't pick every single Arsenal player, but which of the Arsenal players,
Declan
the current
Rice.
Arsenal players, you really admire? Declan.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because it's a position I know very well. I was already a big admirer of him when he was playing for West Ham. I think he's even better than when he was playing for West Ham because he was born as a leader, this guy. He's like Mr. Nice Guy, but on the pitch, he's terrific. I think what he brings into this team, that was missing last season at this point, keep your nerves, focus on the games, always try to win games for the first minute until the end with such a huge energy every time he plays. And he can be decisive, he can give assists, he can score goals, but the balance he brings into the team, the leadership he brings to his teammates, mentally, this is very important. You have the feeling that he never gives up, and I love it.
Do you think Arsene Wenger would have loved him?
Of course. Everybody. Yeah, I think he can play any team in the world. Definitely.
Yeah. And I think bringing it full circle.
There is so many players I love into this team.
No, and I know that's why I said you can't name them all. But yeah.
I would have loved to play with them.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Saka,
for example.
Well.
There is so many nice guys in this team with great mentality.
Yeah. We better move on to the Euros,
Yes.
which obviously we're all looking forward to. Let's touch on France first of all. Obviously going to be going in as one of the tournament favourites. How do you see their chances? Are they as strong this season as they have been in recent years?
For the last 20 years, I think we have reached so many finals. We have won a couple of tournaments. So this is something very new because we used to be good before, but without winning anything. Now we change everything. And we're going into this Euro and with the aim to win it. We're not talking about semi-final. We're not talking about final. We're talking about winning the tournament. The language has changed so much in France. Every time.
Do you think that's one of the big differences between France and England then, that mentality? Because a lot of people, I think, in England would say,
used to have
we
that.
reached the semi-final, that's great.
But English people used to be like this before. It was so hard, to play against England, English players in the past, because of that. Because we knew that mentally it was always a fight on the pitch from the first minute until the end. They will never give up. They will give everything to beat you on the pitch all the time. But I think it changed. I think English players, they lost confidence somewhere. I think they don't have the real confidence that they are as good as anybody and they can win a big tournament. They must improve. For me, the last time we met England, they were better than France, but we won the game. You know why? Because we had the experience of winning big, important games like this, but on top of it, we were very pragmatic on both penalty areas.
Right.
defensively and offensively. I think if you look at the game, if you remember what happened during the game, England should have scored 2 or 3 goals easily, but they missed their chances all the time. Is it because they were missing confidence, or they were missing, concentration? I don't know. What I know is that we've learned, France, that occasion to score doesn't come easily on a big tournament, but when they come, you have to be ready for it.
Do you expect France to win the Euros?
It would be very difficult, but yes. Yes, definitely.
Just broken a lot of English hearts, you realise that?
I mean, England is one of the favorites as well, just like Germany. Don't forget Germany, because they're going to play at home. And we all know the pride of this team, especially when you play in front of your fans. That could be the factor X. Some teams like Portugal, as you said, I agree with you. But England is definitely one of them.
Yeah. It's going to be a great tournament. It is, obviously, it's live on talkSPORT.
Yes.
You're going to be there.
Of course.
I'm going to be there.
Yes.
Looking
I'm
forward to it.
happy for it. No, I'm very happy to meet you.
And the feeling is very mutual.